A little bit of a slower game and not as high scoring as we've seen at times this season. What did you make of things overall tonight?
Yeah, certainly thought we were fighting the puck at times. I mean, obviously the level of compete was there, and I thought we did some good things overall, but there was times when it just looked like we were a little bit off. And unfortunately, as we talked about this morning, when you're in the rhythm of playing games and all of a sudden you've got a little bit of lax in the schedule, sometimes it can be a hindrance more than a help. But overall, I thought we were just there. I mean, special teams obviously played a huge factor in the game, and we talked about that this morning. How good their power play is. They got one, and then unfortunately, you just can't give up a shorthanded goal with 7 minutes left in the game. I mean, that's that game's got to get to at least overtime, and they got a shorthanded goal, so obviously a huge factor in the game.
Seems like you ran into a pretty hot goalie as well. Pavel Shine was equal to kind of all your opportunities tonight. What do you see from your offense and kind of trying to beat him?
Yeah, I mean, it was. You're absolutely right. I mean, I thought actually both goalies were real good tonight and made some key saves. And the opposition goalie there, maybe not the prettiest style you see, but certainly made some huge saves for them to maybe keep the game 1-1 and ultimately 2-1. But I just felt that our offensive guys, specifically our first line, was a little bit off tonight. And even when they generated some chances, they were just, the puck was flipping up, or they just didn't get the right shot off. And unfortunately, the depth scoring right now is not where we'd want it to be. But obviously Sabern's line continues to chip in, and sometimes when your first line doesn't bury a goal or two, you need your third and fourth lines to pick up the slack, and unfortunately that wasn't the case tonight. So that's why it's imperative that when you're in a tight game of 1-1, you just find a way to get that to overtime, or at least try and squeak out a winning goal late in the game. But the compete was there, and we had our opportunities to score. It just wasn't meant to be.
You had Kyle Betts out to take a really late game face-off. The only guy on the team yet to have a point, but obviously you see something in him to put him out in that situation.
Well, Betsy brings a lot of the intangibles that we like. Obviously his speed's excellent, and face-offs is one of his strong suits. And Ridley Gregg was struggling on the face-offs tonight quite a bit. And Betsy had won a few previous face-offs, so we thought that we'll take a chance on him maybe getting the draw there and getting it back. But those type of things, you're kind of looking at the numbers. I thought we struggled without seeing the numbers. I thought we struggled in face-offs quite a bit. And when we looked at the analytics of Cleveland's team, one of their biggest strengths was face-offs, and I thought that was a category that probably was in their favor tonight.
Cole Reinhardt, 4 assists in his last 4 games, 4-game point streak. Scott Sabern scoring at a clip that his career high he matched with 12 goals. How are these guys kind of getting those offensive points now, kind of being rewarded for their solid two-way work?
Well, I think two-way work is exactly what you're talking about. And Reinhardt, that's the type of player he needs to be, and he needs to be real solid at both ends. And obviously, from my perspective, there's a lot of trust in that line defensively, and they take a lot of draws, specifically with Castles being our only right-shot centerman. They take the majority of the face-offs in D-zone, so a lot of their starts sometimes come in the D-zone, but they've been very reliable. And Sabern's been a plus player, and obviously he's got 12 goals, and we're not even really at the halfway point of the season till I guess tomorrow night is when we get there. So they've been real good for us, and obviously when you're missing key players or key at least offensive guys, other guys need to step up and contribute offensively, and they've been able to do that specifically as a line.
And lastly, what's the key to, I guess, shaking this one off and getting set for a tough Manitoba team tomorrow?
Well, I think, at the end of the day, we got to find a way to get the split. The goal was 3 out of 4 here this weekend with a 2-game set, and it would have been nice to get back to 500. We seem to be one of those teams right now that gets closer and closer to that 500 mark, and then we just can't seem to get there just quite yet. But obviously a real good Manitoba team that we seen last week, and we were able to pull out the win. But at the same time, they outchanced us, and they play a real hard game. They compete, they play well defensively, and it'll be a great test for us tomorrow night. And I think we'll certainly have to be better tomorrow night. Thanks, guys.